Welcome once again, ladies and gentlemen, to the M&P Conservative Media Network. I'm Christopher Mader from KTNTradio.com. What an absolutely fantastic night we've had here at the Biltmore in Providence, Rhode Island. My good friend Russell Taub invited me down to not only talk to many candidates, but to meet this man, Kenneth Abramowitz, who has given us a great talk on basically the fact that we're in World War III and we don't realize it, and some of the things that we must recognize about good and evil and how to combat the evil in our world. Kenneth, some great talk tonight, absolutely very informative. Why? One of the things I had said, interjected, was that we in America today are afraid to prosecute the war like we did in World War II. Every time there's a picture of something that comes across, television, that completely kilters the polls in, prosecuting the war. Why is that? Where does that stem from? Is that a holdout from the anti-Vietnam era? Where does that come from?
Well, the country has become mentally weak over time. And I think the educational system is doing a bad job instilling American values, core American values, into the people. By the way, we have two core American values. We have secular values, constitutional human rights, and we have religious values, Judeo-Christian, history, philosophy, tradition. We're doing a bad job on both scores. And so when people become mentally weak, they don't stand up and fight for themselves because they don't believe in anything. If you wake up every day and say, oh, I believe in going to dinner tonight and going to the theater, and I say, but do you believe in the Constitution of Bill of Rights? I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I'm too busy eating dinner and going to the theater.
That's right, yeah, that's no fun. And do you go to church, synagogue? That's a waste of time. So, when you stop believing in yourself, either secular or religious, you're not going to defend yourself because you don't know what you're defending.
And it's institutionalized. We, in '79, when the Department of Education got started, Joseph Palazzo had made the amazing statement that, the federal control of education, the federal control of ideas. I grew up in that pre-1979 school administration, and I remember as a kid our local schools, the local control over it, parents were very much involved. I remember getting a great rudimentary education. Now we are umpteen years later after 1979, and now we have Common Core. It's kind of like Windows 10 of the federalization of our education. What does this bode for, maybe another 10 years from now? You would ask, if 10, 15 years from now, is good going to win, is evil going to win? Well, let's take Common Core, and I'm going to use the word, the dumbing down of our education. What does that mean 10 to 15 years from now? I'm going to say it. How stupid are our children going to be coming out of school?
Well, the children are pretty stupid now.
Right.
They'll be more stupid. They'll be uneducated, miseducated, diseducated. It's a whole lot of bad things. On the Common Core, here's something you might. There's two types of Common Core. There's Common Core run by good people, and this Common Core run by evil people. So I'm actually I wouldn't mind Common Core if it were run by good people. In other words, if someone said, I believe in the Constitution of Bill of Rights, I believe in Judeo-Christian history, philosophy, tradition, I believe in the history of our founding fathers and their belief system, and I want to carry that over to the next generation, I go, great, that sounds like a great Common Core. But if you let the socialists take over the Common Core and refuse to inject our wonderful values into the next generation,
or any kind of discourse or counter-argument, sure.
Right.
We see that already in our schools. I mean, a student can say, well, wait a minute, it's like, oh, little Johnny, never mind, but, and don't. Next thing you know, the parents are calling. It's like, while he was speaking out in class, well, what did he do? While he was questioning the teacher. That gets us into that totalitarian tilt of where our government is going and that control over everything. A while ago, I had an interview with a colonel, Air Force colonel, and we were talking about these things. We were talking about the militarization of our police, the militarization of our federal agencies. We had come collectively to coin the phrase the personification of evil, which made me intrinsically interested in what you were saying tonight about good and evil. Are these institutions, because they're becoming so oppressive, so involved in every minutia of our lives, is there an element of actual evil within, I guess, the power structure of these agencies?
Well, I divide bad people up into two categories, 90 and 10. 90% of bad people are naive and stupid. They're not intentionally trying to destroy the goodness of America. 10% are smart and evil.
And they're intentionally trying to destroy.
That's right.
Cornell University, what's that thing that was, they did a study that people who go into areas of power and enforcement and government agencies, 1 in 10 are clinically insane. So there comes your 90-10, there comes your 1 in 10.
Yeah, that's right. It could well be. But the marriage of naive and stupid and good and evil is a bad marriage. Vladimir Lenin had an expression called the useful idiots.
Sure, right.
So useful idiots in the hands of people who are smart and evil, and you get an army of robots. And so it's worrisome. By the way, just going back a few seconds, I'm actually the beneficiary of a Common Core created by real Americans. I went to Columbia College, part of Columbia University years back, and we had a core curriculum, and everybody had to take 1 year of Western civilization. We call it contemporary civilization, and we had to take 1 year of the philosophy, the great writings of Western civilization, and had to take a half a year of music, half a year of art, Western civilization. And at the time, if you would ask me, I'd say, well, I don't need that. It's not important to me. I'm glad people didn't give me a choice. And I'm glad they forced me to understand the greatness of Western civilization. So I'm actually the beneficiary of a core curriculum written by good people.
Sure.
Unfortunately now, the core curriculum is written by bad people. And so therefore, I'm opposed to core curriculum written by bad people.
Or it's being forcibly removed from the curriculum. I had a talk on my show a while ago with Professor John Strang. He taught at Harvard, and yeah, he was saying that he just retired just a couple of years ago, and what he had mentioned is as he started to see this removal of, like you said, Western civilization. Nah, that's not going to be a court. No, we don't need to try and talk about a lot of basic, even simple things like American Constitution history, civics, huh? I told you, I was, even before 1979, I was part of that pre-1979 the Department of Education. I remember taking civics in American government. My kids today know that. They're like, what are you talking about? Well, they don't even call it social studies. I forget what they call it. They give it some crazy PC middle of the road name. But again, when I was a kid in high school, we took American government, we took civics. That doesn't exist now. Again, what does that bode? How stupid are our kids going to be in time to come?
You're right. And what kind of citizens are they going to be? And who are they going to vote for? By the way, it's the responsibility of every generation to educate the next generation in the values of the current generation. So when you train the next generation to lose its own values, you're asking for big trouble.
Sure. Love to invite you on the show. I've got your information, and I'm going to get hold of you and have you call in, and we can talk more about this. Ken, thank you so much. What an absolutely fantastic night tonight. Thank you very much. Christopher Mader and Ken Abramowitz. We're here at the Biltmore, the M&P Conservative Media Network, KTNTradio.com. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.